Cross-examination. Alright, let's go. So, late luncheon. Unable to eat, so she ordered the steak. The accused came over to greet Professor. So that part's a lie, but I don't know how we can prove that they didn't have an argument. The accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. So she's saying he took the professor's gun. Okay, let's look at what we have. So we can examine this too, right? We already looked at this. Okay, this is the same thing. I wasn't sure if the left side of the page had the same information. So we can just skip this part. And we can take a look at our other evidence. Okay. So we can't turn this around, we can only look at the picture. And we looked at this. It's probably not relevant anymore. Any other details here? Nope. Okay, we probably just need to press the witness, I'm guessing. So let's go through all the statements. Start with the first one.
Yes!
After 2 p.m., in fact. It's really quite late lunch, isn't it?
Objection!
You don't keep up with the latest fashions from Britain, do you? Late luncheons are in vogue, isn't that right? No. A decisive English no. Has quite a stink to it. The gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems. So it was apparently a daily occurrence that they would lunch together. But on the day in question, the victim had another appointment at the clinic first. Yes, which we can prove from the medical report card that was submitted as evidence earlier. That's right. Miss Brett and the victim went to the lunch following the victim's treatment, which is why it was so late. Yes, that all makes perfect sense. Such a wonderful logic. What a shining example of an English intelligence this fine gentlewoman is. So you both arrived at the restaurant. What happened next? Okay, so Professor was unable to eat. She was the one who ordered the steak. He was unable to eat, you say. And that was because he just had his tooth removed at the hotel clinic, correct? That's right. You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering. Was Miss Brett aware of that fact? It seems so, yes. She'd heard that the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean that it was you who ate the steak pictured here. Is that right, Miss Brett? That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events. Exactly as it was left. The chair was turned around. Ho ho ho. So it was a setup. Dear me, what a harrowing experience. To have traveled to a distant island on the far side of the world and be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I will crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this terrible plight. So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all. That's right. Other than some carbonated water. Just water? Yes. The professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. So it appears that the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. They each raised a glass of carbonated water. It wasn't apparent at the table, probably. What do you think, Dosuke, about the witness's last statement? Very meaningful. Let's double check our photos, because I don't think there was a second cup, yeah. So only one glass. This photo only shows one glass, too. Very meaningful. Slap. That last statement of yours, Miss Brett, has a profound bearing on this case. Well, how fascinating. Do tell us. What is this profound bearing, The significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. The defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony. Well, sidestepped, counsel. Very well. Miss Brett, kindly repeat what you just said to be added to your official testimony. Gladly, she said. That was brilliant, Kazuma. I'm gonna remember that one. Which one? The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I can really use that phrase. I'd hope there's some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that, Yunosuke. Okay, so let's press on this and see what she has to say. What else? So both you and the professor drank this carbonated water, did you? Yes. Being the waiter, I poured the 2 glasses myself. I clearly remember doing so. Except you're actually a detective. And the beef steak. That was for you, Miss Brett? The lady says that she'd heard it was not customary to eat beef here until Japan opened its doors to the world. Yes, that's true. What a frightful place, is the lady's opinion. And I've heard it's not customary to eat sashimi in Great Britain. Now that's frightful. Ha 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 ha. I do like steak and I do like sashimi. I like both. Every country has its own cuisine. As long as people have food to eat. What does it matter what it is? True. True. Come to think of it. The first time I tried carbonated water, it was much more of a shock than the first time I tried beef. But anyway, back to this witness's statement. Somehow, I feel like there's something out of place in what she's saying. We need to pounce on even the slightest thing now. Because you never know what might lead us to our goal. A goal of turning this trial around. Understood, Kazuma. Okay, let's press on the other statements just in case. We'll see if we find any more details. I never got into an argument with the professor. All I did when I noticed him was go over and say hello. Please, don't get angry with me. No, I wasn't directing that retort at you. It was meant for the lady next to you. But anyway, as I said, I did not argue with the professor. I'm afraid your words are in vain. Sorry? Miss Brett does not appear to speak Japanese. No, of course not. Japanese is such a cumbersome language anyway. English is the future. We must all speak English. I wonder if the prosecution will feel that way forever, or only in the presence of a beautiful woman, Well, that beautiful woman is telling blatant lies with a completely straight face. I have to find something that will unravel her testimony, no matter how seemingly insignificant it may be. Anyway, it seems that after the argument, the accused briefly returned to his own seat. That part ties in with what you said, doesn't it? Yes. I still had some coffee to drink. And the next time you got up after that was when I'd finished my coffee and stood up to leave. Smirk. Alright.
Yes!
Like I said, I did not shoot that gun. And like I said, there's no point repeating that assertion over and over. Well, I wasn't expecting to be attacked by my own side. Nevertheless, defendant, you can't deny that when the shot rang out in the restaurant, you had a gun in your hand. Well, yes, that's true, but all I did was pick up the gun I saw on the floor next to the professor as I was leaving the restaurant. In fact, yes, there was someone much closer to the victim than me at the time. The highly suspicious lady in the stand. That will do, you dirty, rotten scoundrel. Dirty? Your baseless accusations could very well cause an international incident, boy. It seems to me that your accusation is just as baseless as ours. What nonsense. The lady is merely stating what she saw. And this is already an international incident as far as I'm concerned, anyway. Okay, so...
Yes!
Last statement about her not being able to carry a gun. It's all very well saying that, but can you prove it? Absolutely. I verified it personally. You... verified it? Yes. Immediately after the incident, I checked to make sure the lady was not carrying a weapon. I distinctly remember her saying, "I'm not." That's all you did? You just asked her? Surely you carried out a physical search, Inspector. No. Why on earth not? The Honorable Englishwoman clearly stated that she does not possess a weapon. There is obviously no need for any further probing into the matter. Or... there was no permission given for any further probing into the matter, perhaps? Think what you will. But if you're going to continue with this preposterous claim that the refined lady was concealing a firearm, the prosecution demands that you support your assertion with facts. In other words, he wants evidence. Ugh. The lady wishes to point out that of course she wanted to stay and assist with the investigation. But she was in a hurry to give a presentation at the university, so she was compelled to leave. Not to mention the fact that your office had told you to get the woman out of here. Not to get her out of there. I just urged her to leave. The lady would like to point out that she in no way meant to run away from the scene of the crime. Which is why she is only too happy to cooperate and testify here in court today, of course. Unlike a certain student who refused to admit when the game is up. You'd at least have the courtesy to pay attention when I'm goading you. So she's maintaining that you got into an argument with the professor, at the end of which you shot him. Which is an out-and-out, totally unfounded lie. Still, her statement is very compelling. After all, she is an elegant, refined, young, and beautiful gentlewoman from Great Britain. In stark contrast to you, dressed from head to toe in a dull black school uniform. I'm dressed exactly the same as you are, except for the flapping red ribbons. Well, anyway, this is our only chance to expose her testimony as the fiction that it is. If we can't do that, then the trial's over. Even you, with your thick skin, must be able to feel the murderous looks you're getting from around the room. Only too well. I feel half dead already. The fact that I can't see a single inconsistency in her testimony isn't making me feel any better either. The first thing to do is press her on any of her statements that seem even slightly off to you. Do that, and an opening will present itself. I promise you. I need to expose the true face of this exotic foreigner that's hiding behind the mask. That's what I should be aiming for in this cross-examination. Okay. So I think we probably have to do the carbonated water, right? So let's post a picture, this one, and submit this.
Yes!
Nice. That's it! Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. Oh yeah, and the chair too. The chair being the wrong way. That is correct, the lady says. Well, that is... it's odd. Very odd. Dear me, what's odd is the defense's inability to express himself. Ugh. Yonosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously it's the cheers. The cheers? Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor had said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. Oh. You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here.
Objection!
Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutiae? 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 What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on the case?
Objection!
Minutiae, you say? Could Could it be that the detective here removed a glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you going to try and tell me you can clink with only 1? You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Inspector, what did the lady say? It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. What? It was all so terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked, and I thought I should try to hide the fact that I'd been there at all, she's saying. Good gracious. Sorry. There, as I assured the court before, this is of no consequence at all. Oh, please. We must remember that this student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes. Who would blame her for concealing a glass or 2 in her state of disarray? That's absurd. Oh, really? So, do we take it that you are now going to accuse this vulnerable, young, and beautiful woman of mischief? What? No. This can't be put down to mischief. I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. It would seem that she slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying. A handbag, you say? Yes, Your Excellency. A small, handheld pouch commonly carried by a well-to-do woman of England. So, the beautiful lady has graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. The student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning, but in the end, it comes to nothing. No more pretentious accusations. You've wasted enough time already. Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed the glass. I think henceforth we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement? Well, I don't know really. If you want to pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show that it has some deeper significance. Yes, you're right. So, she took the glass away in her handbag. If there's a deeper significance it's the handbag. For sure. Wait, the lady put the glass in her handbag, you say? Yes. Do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags for small items. Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag, in which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. You're right. Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that too. What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard? It's really very simple. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murderer weapon, if you will. You can't be seriously suggesting. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Did you or did you not search Miss Jezaille Brett's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir, I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun. The other one that was actually used to kill the professor. Could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag. No! Order! 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 What is the meaning of this, Inspector? The meaning of what, Professor Ouchie? Why on earth did you not have that lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? Thanks to your bungling incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations. Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Do you think so, Kazuma? Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly, you have no faith in the police. As I said, I did not search a lady's handbag after the shooting. Simply because it was unnecessary. Unnecessary in what way? I have to thank the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I had completely forgotten about. This photographic print. This print is of a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag. Well, I never. You can see right through to what's inside. That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags like these are the height of fashion in London at the moment. So the contents are clearly visible. Exactly. So, there was no need to search for the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruhodo-san. Order! Order! Inspector Hosonaga, you will submit that print as evidence at once. Certainly, Your Excellency. A photograph of handbag. A photograph taken by Hosonaga-san after the incident occurred. It shows Miss Brett's handbag on a chair by the victim's table. I think you've had long enough to cross-examine the witness, counsel. The court has now been shown considerable evidence. As a photograph print just submitted to the court record appears to have no further significance, I'm satisfied that there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Indeed, and there is only one logical conclusion. That the pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime. No. Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around, I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start. Kazuma? I'm sorry, Inosuke. Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. What? You mean this is it? I must say, you put up quite a fight for a rookie student. For the weak are meat, while the strong eat. You are wasting your time. There is no way to defeat true justice. A fact that you can chew on to your heart's content from the inside of your cell. This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? And Kazuma, his dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Kazuma. What? Is there really no chance of turning this... No chance now of turning this trial around? You heard the judge. There's nothing about that last photograph the detective produced that we can contest. Which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Very well. I will now proceed immediately to the ruling. It seems we will be unable to report to the British... It seems we will be able to report to the British government on time after all. That smug little... Inosuke Naruhodo, having considered all of the evidence placed before me, hereby find you... Wait, Your Excellency! Inosuke? I don't think you can rule on this case yet.
Objection!
This amateurness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of the courtroom.
Yes!
Your Excellency, just a moment ago, you said this. As the photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance. There is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now, it means that there was a problem with the evidence. Some significant detail, I mean. And ruling on the case at this time would be out of the question.
Objection!
This is blatant straw clutching. Look at this photographic print. All it shows is the handbag the gentlewoman was carrying on the day in question. There can be no problem with this evidence. You better know what you're doing, Ryunosuke. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly, the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court's scrutiny. However, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag. Ha, my thoughts exactly. Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes. Yes, I am desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. If I could only put my finger on it. Do you have water nearby? I can't believe you're reading all this out without getting tired. It's kind of funny. I guess I'm kind of used to it because when I played what is it? Disco Elysium. That entire game is just all reading. And by the way, Bruce, if you like more mature games, like that game is really, really good. I don't know if you want to do like all the reading and stuff, but they came out with a new version that like has voice actors read everything for you almost. Disc Room, or not Disc Room, Disco Elysium. But like it's super, super well written. So if you, it's basically like reading a really, really good book, and then you get to make your own decisions. So it's like choose your own adventure, but like it's super cool. But yeah, it's definitely like it definitely checks like mature factors for real. But I think if you like mature stuff, then that one's really, really good. Yeah. But anyways, since that whole thing was just like reading, and I like reading, I like reading out loud. It's really fun to do the voice acting and stuff. So I guess my voice got used to it. This one, my voice is getting a little bit tired just because I'm like doing different tones and stuff and trying to voice act for the characters and things. But I think my voice will get stronger over the next couple days. All right, let's continue. Very well. I will grant the defense one final opportunity. Oh, that reminds me, I should drink my water. What? But be warned that if I'm unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Your Excellency. So, take another look at the photographic print Inspector Hosonaga submitted before. He will identify for the court where, in this print, we see the significant detail to which you have added. Okay, significant detail? Okay. I mean, the main thing is this chair, right? So, take another look at the photographic print that Inspector Hosonaga submitted before. I mean, the chair's turned around, right? In the other photos, it wasn't. And they said that they took the picture immediately. So as you can see, the two chairs are facing the same way here. You can't tell in this picture. But in this picture, it is. Okay, I just want to check this to see if there's anything inside, but we can't see anything, right? I feel like I'm gonna mess this up, though. What is this, though? This, symbol. I wonder if that's what we're supposed to point out, though? Oh, okay, so actually, it's the, it's this thing. So this icon here, I think it shows that, his arm got burned from falling on the table, so he was sitting there and then he died, and his hand got burned because it was on like the stone plate thing. That's just my guess, but let's see. Okay, so we go back and then we click on this, right? Present.
Yes!
Look at this, here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist. It looks almost like a burn of some description.
Objection!
Dear me, I was wondering that new rifle you would come out with. A burn, you say, on the victim's wrist? Clearly that has nothing whatsoever to do with the Magnificent Ladies. Okay, sorry, I need to turn off autoplay because it was going a bit too fast. History. With the Magnificent Lady's handbag. Yes, that is a burn mark, you're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noticed when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report. What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either. The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. However, as the prosecution outreach points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn. Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the Dean and other university staff. She would like to know if she may be excused. Oh, of course, dear lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway. What's your thinking on this, Junosuke? Do you believe this burn does have something to do with the case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging, in the hope that I might uncover something useful. Yes, you're right. I am? If we can just link that burn to the case. If we can do that, we might be able to freeze this door. Ugh! Cannot read. We might be able to prise this shutting door back open again. Just give up, Counsel. You can't possibly hope to do that. Indeed. I'm afraid that without evidence, I can't allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture. But if we had evidence that irrefutably linked to the burn on the victim's wrist case, then you would allow it? I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face. Really? I have to find some link between that burn and the case. This is the moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves what that burn really means. So then, the defense will now present its evidence to the court. The evidence that demonstrates an inextricable connection between the victim's burn and this trial. Ba-bum. Present this. Take that.
Yes!
What's this, Counsel? Yet another print? Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photographer prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at a scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore. Do hurry up, Rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady and any further really would be quite inexcusable. Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer if you don't mind, Miss Brett. You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How?
Objection!
You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. What is it in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's burn? Do this.
Yes!
The beefsteak? Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on. The plate? Oh. Oh! Excellency, are you alright? As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of La Carnival. Oh. This emblem on the plate. And the victim's burn are exactly the same shape. Yosuke, you genius. You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant.
Objection!
But even if that is the case, we can't know if it happened on the day in question or not. It could have been the day before, or the day before that. It most likely happened at some other unrelated time. Well,
Objection!
Sadly, Prosecutor Ouchie, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks. Why? The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hosonaga? I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly. I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. It's inconceivable that the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. I've been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, but I have not heard anyone scream at all. As the head waiter of La Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation. But you're a detective, not a waiter.
Yes!
There you have it, something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burnt themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. There's no question of that. And yet, Inspector Hosonaga never heard the professor scream, not on that day or any before it. That's right. And the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day, that would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel. And the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antiques dealer, all of us would, without any question, have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Ouchie? Well, yes, I suppose. So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? I almost don't believe it. Yosuke, do you think... Can it really be true? I never dreamt we'd arrive at a conclusion like this, but... I'm starting to think that maybe... we've been led into a terrible trap. There's only one explanation I can think to make sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson... Ah! No! I didn't mean to press it! Ah! No! No, start over. Go back in time. Blah, blah, blah. How about I hold your wrist on a hot plate and see how you're bumbling? Scatterbrain copes. Perhaps the scream you let out will wake you up a bit. Well, it's nice that there's this frankness developing between us, partner. Don't call me partner after coming out with nonsense like that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Kazuma. You're disappointed in me. I apologize. Okay. You have to do it. You're the only one who can. Okay. There's only one explanation I can think. Okay, don't press the button on accident. Was already deceased. No man can remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible. Apart from in one particular situation. Counsel, are you suggesting? Yes, it's only possible. If the man was already dead. Already? Dead? Knowing what we know now, is the only possible explanation. When the beef steak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead. That's madness. Order, please. Counsel, explain this absurd notion at once. The victim was killed by a gunshot. That's right. That's absolutely right, Your Excellency. This is just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student, but clearly he has no grasp of the facts.
Objection!
No, Professor Ouchi, it is you who has no grasp of the facts. I beg your pardon? As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered that burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down, or have you not grasped that yet? Your Excellency, the court must hear from the witness again. If it's true, as we now believe, that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard, it's highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. Incredible. I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagement. But Your Excellency... The justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I am prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency. What was that smile? Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours. Miss Brett, you speak Japanese? I need to put on a British accent for this. Well, of course I do. I'm studying in your country after all. I probably have to practice that before I stream this again. But then, why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now? My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tones as much as possible. That's kinda racist. But it seems the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen. So I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you on your own level. Oh, well, you are the epitome of a true English gentlewoman. We are truly honored by this lavish consideration you so graciously afford us. I see. In that case, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. So, we're finally going to hear her own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke. The victim's death. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrists like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. If there's some other way a man's life can been taken without leaving a trace, please show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway. The most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down in the Supreme Court's history. Thank you. Easy does it. I hope that this is the last time I will have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. Oh, forgive me. I do hope that I haven't insulted anyone. Not at all, not at all. It is a delight merely to hear you speak, dear lady. And it seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant. I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what has happened here today. The Minister of Justice? May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Amen. Huh? Thanks? Well, was that a prayer then? Well, you'll have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with a cross-examination for now. I expect you've noticed this little bully of a student, as you put it. Doesn't miss much. I'm sure I don't need to remind you, Counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problem with this witness's testimony, I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear? Oh my gosh. The loudest face slap of all time. Yes, Your Excellency. Then you may proceed with the cross-examination. Alright, I'm gonna sip some water. The victim's death. Okay. No idea when the man burnt his wrist. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses and toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides a gunshot. Well, that's true, I think, so let's check that. Oh, cause of loss of blood, right? I mean, that's from the gunshot, I guess, but... Single bullet fired at close range, hemorrhage, ballistic trauma, no exit wound, bullet did not pass through the body. Okay. If there's some other way a man's life can been taken without leaving a trace. But of course this... Okay. Oh, It could have been what he was drinking, right? Like if she poisoned it or something. And then the cup that she took probably had the evidence of it. Like it wasn't her cup, maybe. So let's press her on everything.
Yes!
But his hand was on the searing hot plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't not have noticed. Do you think so? Let me ask you something. Sorry? Ever since I arrived in this courtroom, and even still now, the fly on those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. You cannot have noticed, can you? Huh? What? Ah! What fun! You hadn't realized. The dear lady is absolutely right. As your friend, you embarrass me as well as yourself, Ryunosuke. Why didn't you tell me? Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose honorable silence over a vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing? Oh, Actually, yes. I think my tiny brain can.
Yes!
Well, I can't. Anyway.
Yes!
As you testified before, you were drinking carbonated water. Is that right? Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at the time, if you remember. Which explains why he ordered that drink, correct, waiter? Exactly as you say, sir. Although... although? Whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the steak to the table. I'm afraid I don't remember. Beep, you. I have enough English to understand that, at least, for the benefit of others in the court. That means, bless you. I think it means the exact opposite. Anyway.
Yes!
Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma. Yes. Luckily for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us. And as there were no other signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death, it can only have been the bullet from your gun that put an end to this innocent man's life. But it doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away, when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter. Yes, that's true. If it had cooled even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. And if the victim burned his wrist on the hot plate as soon as it was brought out from the kitchen, then he must have already been dead at that point.
Objection!
And yet, the fact is that the victim was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Until you're able to show the court the evidence to disprove that, this is a complete waste of time. I concur. Prosecutor Ouchie is right.
Yes!
Without leaving a trace? If someone is shot, or strangled, or stabbed, or thrown from a height, however a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces on the body. Quite right, dear lady. And as our police force has thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Isn't that right, Inspector Hosonaga? As I've said, I always aim for a flawless investigation. There would be physical traces with all those causes of death, that's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark. If, heaven forbid, you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone how exactly you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it? Oh no! Perish the thought, calling such a sweet young lady's innocence into question. On my honor, I, Taketsuchi Ouchi, will cut down any who dare cast such aspersions. A way of killing someone that leaves no trace. We need some evidence to back us up here. Yes, evidence.
Yes!
So, just a side note, Pokemon Unite updated more. Oh, okay, I'll check that out. I'll check that out after this. But yeah, so, it's not necessarily inferior, what she's talking about. I think, they mentioned in the beginning how, they have different ways of doing, autopsies, like, so, the Western way is that they would, like, fully dissect the body and check, like, all avenues, I guess, but, the Japanese at this time would only just, like, look over the body and not actually do, like, a medical investigation. But yeah. So that's probably what she's talking about. In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at the crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once and that's the end of it. Isn't that so? Quite right. La Carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after the incident. Exactly. Which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. Oh. What's that? Doesn't it occur to you there are naive detectives to try to preserve the crime scene? I'm trying to be as tactful about this as I can, you understand. Killer blow. This lady is as formidable as she is beautiful. Amazing. He's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Algie is finally starting to see sense. I very much doubt that. Still, there's something about what Miss Brett just said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. What do you think, Junosuke? I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information. Yes, as I suspected. She's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break into her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a chink in our armor. Kazuma. What, Yunosuke? There is one thing I noticed, something that's been bothering me. Your pain voice is like Legend of Mana Gilbert. I only have so many voices I can do. Bothering you? You mean about Miss Brett? Actually, no. About the person sitting next to her. Inspector Hosonaga. The detective? Yes. He seems to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant. If it might present an opening, maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on that last statement one more time. If you think so, but this time, instead of targeting the woman herself. Let's see what we can get out of the detective. Alright then. Wonder what Kazuma's thinking. I found out soon enough, I suppose, once I press Miss Brett on her last statement again. Okay, so we need to go to the last statement. So press this, yes! Right?
Wait.
So, which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. Yes, there it is again! The detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why? Up until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down. You're right. Look at him. He's lost in his own thoughts. It's time to pursue the man and his train of thought. Sorry? Pursue? I'll explain how to do it now to Yunosuke. It's all to do with the witness marker. What marker? At the moment, we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement. Ah, but by moving the marker left and right, you can turn your attention to other people in the stand. While you're looking at the other witnesses, you'll be able to pursue them. If you can catch the person at just the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people on the stand, take a good look around. Alright then, so first I should move the marker across, and focus on the detective, and pursue him, and see what's on his mind. Here we go!
Wait.
Alright, so slide over. Pursue.
Excuse me!
Excuse me. Yeah! What's the meaning of this? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in his thoughts. Deeply. It looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say? If there's something you'd like to say, please, share it with the court.
Objection!
What is the meaning of this? It's a delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. If we can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over immediately. Oh, is that how this works? Absolutely not. Hmm? The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Well, yes, if you don't mind. I would like to speak. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain. Which is why Satoru Hosonaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. A crime scene thief? Whoa. Looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Take this, for example. Is that? This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's something left in the bottle. I can see it. One day, our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming. I guarantee it. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept a glass bottle of water as evidence. Carbonated water bottle. The carbonated water the victim and Miss Brett shared on the day of the murder. It was on the victim's table. Miss Brett, can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bottle. What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question. Very well. Counsel, you may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his fervor. Oh man. Okay, so let's take a look at the bottle. Carbonated water bottle. Let's see. Take a look at the label. The label is written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Do you know what it says, Kazuma? I think it's French. This must be very expensive water. Yes, but what does it say? That's what I was asking. You can go to friends and ask. You could just say that you don't know. Ha 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 ha. Okay. Is there anything else to look at? Maybe the bottom? No? Oh, yeah, we can check inside, I guess. The liquid inside. So this carbonated water is the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had. Looks like there's a little bit left in the bottle. Although it's just plain water now. You know, I've been sweating so much, I'm absolutely parched. I'll just have a sip of this to keep me going. No, Ryunosuke, you can't do that. For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence. Oh no, you're right. We don't know what it might be inside, do we? You never cease to amaze me, Ryunosuke. More ways than one. I wonder. Could there be anything in this water? What's the matter? You've gone quiet all of a sudden. I think I might have just worked something out. An interesting possibility. Okay. Oh man, so it's getting late. I've been going for 3 hours and that's how long I wanted to stream. For this, if we keep going, we're just not gonna stop, so I will save here, but next time we will continue pressing this lady and continue this crazy fun story and stuff. And I'm pretty sure she did it, so we'll present all the evidence and prosecute her appropriately as a defense attorney. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'll be streaming this tomorrow as well, and hopefully I'll try to stream it the next day too. But yeah, so this is great Ace Attorney Chronicles, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!